Welcome to Bluegrass Brooklyn, our podcast all about the music we love, straight from the Bluegrass borough of Brooklyn, New York.
Hello, and welcome to this Monday edition of the Bluegrass Brooklyn podcast. I'm your host, Liz Wolfe, and in these editions, we explore topics that are related to and supporting our favorite music, bluegrass. Enjoy the show. Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Bluegrass Brooklyn podcast. Today, I have on with me young Leopold Schwartz.
Hello.
Leo and I have met most recently at
Joval Bluegrass Festival.
At Joval Bluegrass Festival. And actually, Leo and I had a lot of fun there playing together and listening to some really great music. Something to know about Leopold is he plays the mandolin, and he is part of a bigger musical family. One member of whom we have already heard from, which of course is Isaac. He was on another previous episode. But I wanted to get Leo on because he's also a very promising young musician. So tell us a little bit, Leo, how old you are. Give us your quick rundown.
Well, I'm 13 years old. The mandolin is probably I find it really fun because the double strings, you can do a lot more fast stuff with it because there's more strings to work with. And just the sound of it just sounds so good. It's a really fun instrument. The tuning is really good too.
Are you familiar with the Indigo Girls?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, you should get familiar with the Indigo Girls, but did you watch Barbie, the movie Barbie?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you should watch the Barbie movie. Nevertheless, they are an acoustic duo, and the reason I fell in love with the mandolin is because every time I listen to the Indigo Girls, every song that they play the mandolin on is a song that I love. They're wonderful singers, etc. So I can totally relate to the idea of the mandolin, just such a bright instrument. So how long have you been playing the mandolin?
About a year and a half. In August of 2024, my mom told me that I should probably try it since I wasn't enjoying guitar that much. And I started actually learning how to play notes and stuff at the AFBA Kids Academy in Wind Gap, Pennsylvania.
Right. And that is where my family, my sister Jennifer and I have met your family to start out with is AFB Wind Gap Festival. Also a recent episode. It's one of my favorite festivals. You mentioned earlier that you really enjoy going to festivals. What do you love about it?
So I really like the people that are playing on stage there. The jamming is really fun, and just the fairgrounds are always really cool.
And tell me about your jamming experiences.
Well, sometimes on very rare occasions, I get to jam with some famous people. Like I got to jam with Seth Mulder, Chris Davis, and the Cody Norris show at one point at the IBMAs. And other times I just jam with some other people there because I walk around, find jams, and then I join them.
Yeah. So there you are, you're 13, obviously young, you look young, and then you walk up to a jam. What's the response that you get from people?
I don't really get a negative response. Most people at festivals are pretty nice, so they just let anyone really join the jam.
Do they give looks of surprise when it turns out that you're actually pretty good?
I don't think I've ever experienced that before. No.
Well, I know I was kind of late-ish, I'll say like 10 o'clock at night, and I was sitting at a campsite at AFBA, and you wandered up, and neither the person that was sitting there with me nor I could actually keep up with you in that moment,
Yeah.
which is slightly embarrassing because I guess you were probably 12 at that time. But is that important to you to be able to play fast?
Yeah, I actually sometimes find it a bit hard to play slow songs because I'm not very good at the tremolos and stuff.
And so you said you were taking lessons, which is also something you enjoy. Who's
Yes.
your teacher?
Well, my past teachers were Tara Linhart and Ryan Rogers. And my current teacher is Chris Davis. He is an amazing mandolin player. He used to play with Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers. Now he plays with the Chris Davis Band.
Okay, so what do you feel like you've learned from him, but other teachers that you wouldn't have been able to do on your own?
Well, Tara taught me how to do like the bar chord on the mandolin, the bar A chord and bar minors. And Ryan taught me how to do fillers stuff on the mandolin. While people are playing, you do some sort of thing with the chord shape. And Chris has taught me all sorts of things like different songs, different techniques, and licks too. They're all really fun.
Okay, and then you were playing the guitar, and you mentioned something about a fiddle.
Yes, so the fiddle, I've only just recently started learning from Chris. It's a bit difficult because the bow will never stay straight. It won't stay straight.
But the fingering being the same makes the transition a little easier.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay, and how many siblings do you have?
I have 3 siblings.
2 older, 1 younger.
Yes.
Okay. And am I understanding that other than Isaac, your other siblings play musical instruments as well?
Yeah, it varies across the entire family. That we all like different styles.
That was going to be my next question. Do you play together? Is it like, I just envisioned family bands sitting around in the evening playing together?
Yeah, that's actually kind of how it is. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we have a band practice. We're called the Cattywampus Quartet.
Okay.
And we do band practices every night doing different songs that we have in the band.
What are some of the songs that you are practicing?
Well, last time we brought in a new song from Ronnie Bowman called Rye Whiskey. Some other songs are Little White Church, Georgia Slammer, Tennessee Stud, and yeah, there's a lot of them.
Are these fiddle tunes or are you singing also?
Well, I sing Georgia Slammer, Isaac sings Little White Church, my younger sister Winnie sings Rye Whiskey, and the oldest brother Sebastian sings Tennessee Stud. And there's a lot more songs that we all sing also.
Now, my understanding is you're all homeschooled.
Yes.
So does that make playing music easier?
Yeah, it does, because we can finish school a lot quicker. And usually at the end of the year, we all get up really early to do 3 lessons a day. So we don't have school later in the day, except for the morning classes. And we also finish school a lot earlier than we're supposed to.
Right. Isn't that interesting how homeschool, for some reason, takes less time than regular school?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense because you don't have to move to each different class in a building. You don't have to ride a bus to get to the school. And depending on how fast you finish the class, it will take longer or shorter to finish school.
And do you ever say, you know what, I'd really rather go to middle school somewhere?
No.
Okay. Well, when I think back to my middle school experience and the possibility of not having to have gone through that, I think I would enjoy homeschooling as well.
Yeah.
And what other activities besides music are you doing in your homeschooling world?
Well, I do play some board games. I like to play Mario Kart also. And basketball is really fun too.
Okay.
I'm
And
not very good at it though.
well, like anything, you're not good at it until you practice and do it for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many hours do you devote to practicing mandolin?
Well, it depends on how long I feel like playing it. I usually just play it for fun. If I see it on the wall, I just think, oh, I want to play that.
And do you ever, my sister and I both took piano, so it was always like, it's my turn to practice. No, it's your turn to practice. Do you ever have competing moments like that for practicing with your siblings?
No, I'm really like the only one that really plays mandolin all that much. Isaac plays it a little bit, although it's usually once a month or every 2 months sometimes. And I do have to fight for the guitar though for practicing it because I mean I don't really mind not playing it because I can always just play the mandolin. But if I ever want to practice that, sometimes Isaac will want to practice it too.
And what's the difference for you between why playing the mandolin is more fun than the guitar?
Well, I really like the tuning. The tuning is really fun. You don't have to like worry about the weird out different tuning string. On the guitar, there's a string that's it's usually on the guitar where you hit the fifth fret, it will be the same note as the next string. But one of the strings, if you hit the fourth fret, it will be the same note as the next string. On the mandolin, they're all the same. And also, you can go really high. The scales are the same. They're really fun.
Well, again, you and I had some fun there at Joe Val. And I know one thing we did was we both went to see the Gibson brothers and
Yes.
their little talk back thing. So what's it like for you to be so up close and personal with some of these big names?
Well, at first, like at the Malpass Brothers Festival, when I saw the Malpass Brothers, I was just in shock that I was actually seeing them in person. Same with the Cody Norris show at the IBMAs and Sierra Hull there also. Joe Mullins especially. But now it's gotten a bit easier to not be crazy about it.
Hmm. Do you feel like they're accessible to you? How do you think Billy Strings would be if he met you?
Well, I actually did meet Billy Strings at the
Okay.
IBMAs. Yeah, he was really nice. He signed a paper thing. I like to get papers to get the people at festivals to sign it and then
Yeah,
put it up on my wall.
I saw you doing that with the Gibson brothers and I guess getting a photo
Yes.
with them too. So you hold on to those pieces of paper and then you have them where you can see them and they inspire you or what?
I just have them up there because they're just signatures, so I like to have them on my wall.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm grateful for my mom and parents for letting us go to all these places and putting in the money and time to take us there.
Okay, last thing I wanted to say is that, a lot of 13-year-old boys are kind of jerks, or they're not, maybe that's
Yeah.
not nice to say, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You're so nice. That's one thing I remember. We were going to watch Special Consensus and you had an extra seat and you were like, hey, come and sit with me. That just seems to come naturally to you.
Well, it helps that I was raised in a homeschool Christian family. So it will, we were raised on good morals.
Okay. So you attribute how you were raised to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you so much for taking this time.
Thank you.
What are your future plans?
Well, I really want to play on stage with more people, like Fast Track. I want to be able to play on stage with them. They're like my favorite band now. Sierra Hull, I don't see happening, but a possibility, maybe.
Possibility. Yeah. Okay. So getting on stage with some bigger names and really getting more of that experience. Yeah. I think it's possible. You never know. What I think is that a lot of people want to encourage young people. This is one conversation that older folks have about how do we bring more young people into the world of bluegrass. Well, thanks again. And
Yeah, thank you.
we're going to be watching you as you grow and get better. And I guess the next time I'll be seeing you would be probably at the AFBA. And I'll take a few minutes now to talk to your mom.
Hey.
Hi. Well, now I'm having a moment here with Amanda Schwartz, who is the mother of 4 musical children, Sebastian, Isaac, Leopold, and Winnie.
Yeah.
So how'd you end up with such a musical family?
I don't know. I mean, I guess music was always part of us. My husband and I actually met in the Marine Corps band. So it was totally different type of music, grant you, but it was always there. And then I got into bluegrass. My husband's family, like, they've been into bluegrass. So once we got there and the kids saw how fun these festivals were, it just took off. So
Wow. And so what were you playing in the Marine band?
I was a French horn player. My husband was a clarinet player. So definitely different.
But hopefully not sitting too far from each other. I don't know. How does that
Well,
even
he was
hone
actually
in?
my platoon sergeant, so he wasn't playing in the band with me. Yeah. We met
Oh,
at
I
the School of Music. So
I see. And so you play the French horn, obviously. Do you still play?
every once in a while, I don't play it as much anymore. I've got so much more into the folk scene. I was playing with a reenactment band for a while that still plays, and an orchestra. I actually took Isaac to the orchestra and he was playing bass. But yeah, it was just not working with our schedule as much anymore,
Mhm.
so I don't play much anymore.
Are you playing other stringed instruments now?
I was learning most of the instruments before the kids got really good at them, and we only have one at the time, so I would just be like, "Hey, you're so good, you just keep it, you practice
Yeah.
with it." And so I'll still pick them up off the wall every once in a while and play, but it's just hard because I can't hang with my own kids. They're so much better than me.
They are. I was saying to Leo that 10 o'clock at night jam. I mean, when I say we couldn't keep up, I mean, we could not keep up. But
Yeah, that's how
he-
I feel. So I don't really try anymore. I'll play by myself every once in a while, but I just learned music by reading music, and I don't have the ear that they have. They learned so much better by ear than I do. So I struggle. I'm like, what chord is that? I don't even know. So
Right.
yeah.
I'm always so admiring of parents who choose to homeschool their children because I certainly was not going to do that. Now, on the other hand, I live in New York City where I had a tremendous number of choices for where my
Yeah,
kids could go to school. And I know you're more in the rural area.
definitely.
Yes.
We're in the
So,
Poconos.
yeah, in the Poconos. So, what had you say, yes, this is the lifestyle or the way I want to educate my children?
I don't know. I think it was like pretty early on. Sebastian was obviously our firstborn, and I just I felt this strong pull to do that. I felt equipped, and I didn't think that if I sent him to public school, he was going to get the kind of one-on-one. And I just didn't want him filling his days with busy time. I went to public school, so I'm well aware of how it all works. And I'm not saying that most public school experiences are negative, but there is a lot of negative sometimes. And there's just not a very tailored to the child education a lot of times. And I wanted that for my kids. And I was willing to sacrifice the extra paycheck. At first, I was actually working, but yeah,
Mhm.
as they got older, I was like, well, this needs to be more of my full-time position. So I really like teaching my kids. I enjoy it. And so that's not what everybody's experience is. But
Mhm.
since I did, I was like, I should. I felt like that was my calling.
And I know some other folks that do homeschooling. I know that they have other groups and people that they spend time with. Is that something that's available to you where you are?
We have done that. We've been involved with different co-ops, they're called. We've done it more in the past. The one that we were doing, I was actually teaching at for a while, but it lost its building and then it went through this transition. And we just took a step back at that point and realized it was better having that day free because it was on Fridays because Isaac started having more gigs and we were like, okay, well, let's just focus more on what we're doing. So we don't do that now. They get a lot of socialization at bluegrass festivals.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Probably a broader
It
socialization.
is broader because there's adults involved and you don't learn as much. I think if you're only talking to other kids, like you get some immature thinking, I think predominates, but they get a more well-rounded experience with the whole human.
And that's one reason I was asking Leopold about it. I know there's sometimes this concern with adults that, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of drinking at
Yeah.
festivals. On the one hand, you feel very safe to have your kid be there and wandering around. You don't think anything bad's going to happen to them. But on the other hand, there's an exposure to a lot of things. People are
Yeah.
they're smoking pot there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just have a lot of conversations with them about this is what you're going to see, this is what people might do, and what to do in response to that if they're feeling uncomfortable. And my kids, we have this thing like when they turn teens, that's when they get a little bit more freedom, and we call it adults in training wheels. And they get a phone for the first time, and they have certain expectations of accountability, of checking in and all this kind of stuff. And so there's just an open, honest communication. Let me know when you're uncomfortable. Let me know what you see, and I will help. I'll step in and I'll help them. I have had to a couple times, but they kind of understand. They know what adults are doing. I've never hidden stuff from them. I've explained to them the dark parts of the world and the bright parts. So I've tried to equip them with how to deal with those things. I don't get to talk to people at all that I feel like I'm talking to the other bluegrass parents who are going,
Right.
we're all on the same struggle bus, but it's a good ride. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So what do you enjoy most about it?
I just like seeing where the kids go with their creativity. They surprise me all the time. I don't know what they're going to bring for their next song to the family band. Sometimes Leopold will get on, like recently, he got on stage with the Traveling McCurries. Isaac was doing a sit-in with them as part of their Young Guns tour. And that was not originally planned. He wasn't part of that whole thing. And when he got up there, he blew me away. I was like, I hear you practicing all the time and I know you can play well, but handling that kind of pressure on stage, like those moments for me are big. Oh, this is so worth it. This is so fun. I'm so glad I'm pouring myself into this roadie experience as a mom. Because it really is fun to watch them.
So again, you've got 4 children. So Isaac, I saw, just released an album.
Yes. Yeah. That's
kind of
been a
cool.
wild ride too.
I bet it has. What's been the wildest part of it?
It's just really like a trial by fire. We don't really know all the behind the scenes things that go on. And so I'm having to really probably annoy his producer and his publicist, asking them questions just so I can understand and help the process and so that he understands. And so I think just not knowing what to expect and having to ask questions with it has been a little bit of he's been pleasantly surprised by how smooth it's gone though.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what he was expecting, but he's doing really well. He's charting on the downloads, the DJ downloads and stuff like that. So it's cool.
That's really fun to see. And so for Sebastian and Winnie, where do their interests lie?
So Sebastian sometimes he's the one who's like the less willing participant. He's definitely been at the festivals and been involved, and he's really good with younger kids. He likes to hang out with them and be part of the gang, so to say. But his interests lie elsewhere most of the time. I don't think he spends nearly as much time with the music as the other kids. He's my logical child. He likes coding and puzzles and computers and all this stuff that is above my head. I don't really teach him that stuff anymore. He's teaching himself. But he's got this amazing bass voice that he lends. And so he brings a lot of classic country to the group, but he's our fiddle player and it's a really hard instrument. He doesn't have a private teacher or anything like that because he doesn't, I guess, want to spend all that time dedicating to it. He's got a part-time job. So he's on he's 16, just started driving, another realm. And then Winnie is just another one that's just surprising me. She gains ground so quickly. She's our bass player. She very early on decided that she wanted to play bass, and it was just so cute. It's always been cute because she's the smallest one with the biggest instrument. And her vocals those are the things that are really surprising me and will turn people's heads. I think she's very confident singing, and she picks good songs. I'm biased. I'm their mom, but I just think she's wonderful.
How old is she?
She just turned 11 in March.
Yeah. So it's not like she's 6 or anything.
No.
Right.
They're getting beyond the cute stage a little bit.
So in some ways, the homeschooling thing, I don't want to say it's winding down because she's only 11 and she's got several more years. But as you see Sebastian coming across the crest of the top, right? Interesting. Why bluegrass? Where did that come from?
I feel like the first time I listened to it, I think it was my husband's brother's wedding. So my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, when they got married, their playlist had a lot of bluegrass. And I, for some reason, hadn't listened to a lot of it before, other than maybe the Oh Brother We're Out There soundtrack. And this is despite growing up in the mountains of North Carolina and having a lot of ancestry that was in the music and in that scene. It just didn't transfer through my parents to me. But now my mom's really into it because she's following us.
Right.
But yeah, so it started not that long ago, I would say. And when I got into it, I got hooked pretty fast. And I've got what my husband calls the bluegrass sickness. He has it a little bit, not nearly as much as me. If you go and it's just so alive, the music, you go and you see the people. And it's different than when you go and see someone playing electrical music on stage. So think about the acoustic instruments and the live raw sound of it and just that community of people all playing together. It just struck a chord with me. And it's been something I wanted my kids involved with and I wanted to be involved with.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen or met your husband at a festival.
He's at AFBA. He doesn't stay overnight, but he comes and he's supporting behind the scenes, but he does not have the bug like we do where he wants to go to everything. I'm usually like, can we please go?
Right.
Because he's the rational one behind us all, supporting and making sure we can do what we want, but also reining us in, which is probably necessary. Bless him.
Yeah, same thing for me. My husband will, I'll go to FB and I'll be there Wednesday morning. And then around Friday evening, John will roll in and because that's where,
I mean, he works, I'm sure.
Right,
probably,
exactly, yeah.
My husband does too, so.
So he's got, not that I don't work, but we're all working, actually. Yes. And so what do you see for the future for any or all of your children?
I don't know. I want to support them wherever they want to go. I don't force anything with my kids. I don't want to force them to do stuff they don't want to do, but I will just be following and seeing. It's hard to say. I can definitely tell that The music will always be part of all of their lives at this point. Sebastian might be going to be a pilot. He's talked about different things. So Cattywampus Quartet might be a trio for a while. But wherever they lead, I'll do my best to follow, support while they still need me. But they'll be driving soon and be able to have a little more independence. So it's hard to say. Sky's the limit.
And at the AFBA festival, I know they have some local bands play. Is Cattywampus Quartet playing there?
Not this year. They're not playing that one. They've played at their shindigs. They are playing at the Wind Gap Festival. So they'll be playing. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Then I'll miss that.
Yeah. Harry Grant, he loves a good kid band, and he loves to support the young people. So he's put up Isaac's other youth band as well. They're playing that festival.
Well, thank you for giving us some insight into the mother of 4 musical children and homeschool life, and just sounds wonderful to me. It's nice to know that there's this growing group of not just your children, but the other youths of the world that are out there playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. It's great. I look forward to it, seeing where everybody ends up, because we've met so many great kids in bluegrass. I feel like bluegrass kids are the best kids that we meet. And I think it's a great community where they're not all competitive. It doesn't seem to me anyway. I try to coach my kids to be like, there's enough bluegrass bands in the future for everybody. So there's no reason to be competitive. Just support each other and see where you all end up. It's great.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, thanks again for taking the time to talk with me this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Liz Wolfe. Please subscribe to our podcast and follow us on our social media so you never miss an episode. You can find us online at bluegrassbrooklyn.com. Brooklyn is spelled BKLYN. See you around the jam circle.